Hello, chat. Hello? Hello? Can you guys hear me? Oh, no. Oh, no. Don't tell me the audio's broken. Not like this, champ. Not like this, champ. Can you guys hear me? Spam 1 if you can hear me. You guys love to spam 1. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Spam 1. Spam 1. Go, 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 go. Spam 1. Spam 1. Go, go, go. I'm giving you permission. Go, go, go. Oh, there we go. Okay. Whew. Thank goodness you guys can hear me. Woo! I am glad that you guys can hear me. Oh, it would have been an awkward stream if I was just talking to myself the whole time. Hold on, I'm turning on some Hypers music. We need a little late night, little 9:30 Hypers. Oh no. Oh no, can you guys hear that? I literally can't hear it. I literally cannot hear the music. What? What? Can you guys hear it? Oh, this is Windows' fault. Windows updated. Windows updated. It's not my fault. It is not my fault. It's not my fault. It's Windows' fault. It's Windows' fault. For sure. Oh my gosh, wait, I actually don't know why I can't hear it though. Hold on, chat. It might go away for a second. Wait, I could hear it earlier though. What changed between earlier and now? I went live? Hold on, what did I break? Not like this, chat. Loud? It's really loud. Oh, I turned it up. Sorry, chat. Sorry. I turned it down. I thought I just couldn't hear it. Why can't I hear it, chat? Oh, no. Now, this is a pickle, chat. This is a real pickle here. Because I want to hear the music, too. I can literally see it happening here, though. I don't get it. I don't get it. Okay, hold on, chat. I'm going to try something risky. This might completely break the audio for the stream. Don't know. I fixed it, chat. I fixed it. Chat. People happy for me. I can hear the music now. We be vibing now. Okay, it's a little quiet for me. I don't know if it's quiet for y'all or not. Turn it up just a hair for me. Turn it down just a touch for you guys. Oh, look at that. Streamer moment. Ah. Woo! We are so good now. Hello, chat. It feels like it has been an eternity, chat. It has been. It's been far too long, young chatters of the chat. Oh my gosh, so many of you have subbed. Immortal Army, thank you for the Prime for 10 months. Polished Avocado, tier 1 for 13 months. Apollo Moon Life, tier 1 for 3 months. Thank you so much. Moody Mooney, thank you for the tier 1 for 10 months in a row. Daisy Not Quake, thank you for the tier 1 for 2 months. Eventful Panic, thank you for the Prime for 5 months. Emily Hust, thank you for the tier 1 for 13 months. Let's go. Macass, thank you so much for the tier 1 for 3 months in a row. Autumn Wings, thank you for the tier 1 for 9 months in a row. Sav Gamer, thank you for the tier 1 for 3 months in a row. Super Staff, thank you for the tier 1 for 15 months. Sheesh, 15 months. Our Twitch baby is so old now. Twitch toddler. It's literally only like 4 months. No, I can't do math. It's been a really long day. That's 6 months. I know that's half a year. It's been a really long day. Don't make fun of me. Trinity, thank you for the tier 1 for 4 months in a row. Annie, thank you for the tier 1 for 5 months in a row. Zooming to Nail, thank you for the tier 1 for 4 months in a row. It's Tay, thank you for the tier 1 for 6 months in a row. Madeline Nay, thank you for the tier 1 for 10 months in a row. Sophia, thank you for the tier 1 for 2 months in a row. Kylie Bear, thank you for the tier 1 for 12 months. Tessa Lee, tier 1 for 8 months. Thank you so much. Chloe Shea, tier 1 for 11 months. Thank you so much. Saturn Ken, tier 1 for 13 months. Lemon, thank you so much for the tier 1 for 2 months. While Alone, thank you for the tier 1 for 5 months. The music just cut out for me. It's the end of the song. Never mind. Mona Hackian Pride? I think I said that right. Monakian Pride, thank you so much for the tier 1. It's Vic, thank you for the tier 1 for 15 months in a row. Anna Mellon, tier 1 for 11 months. Thank you so much. Eva's Galaxy, thank you for the Prime for 11 months. Drug Store Alien, thank you for the tier 1 for 8 months in a row. Fluffy Faye, thank you for the tier 1 for 5 months. Selenite, thank you for the 2. Welcome back and Happy New Year's. It's good to see you, see the big man back. It's good to be back. It is good for big man. Room reveal. We're leaking the room. It's right there. You can see my room. It's my fan. It's moving the green screen. Hold on, I'll fix it. Oh, wait. I need to go this way to fix it. Okay, just a touch this way. Ah, no more leaks. No more leaks. No more leaks. Melon Bears, thank you for the Prime for 6 months. Sheesh, thank you so much. Dean JS Bean, thank you for the Prime for 13 months. Aeroplace, Prime for 7 months. Hillary, thank you for the Prime for 5 months. Cascade, thank you for the Prime for 3 months in a row. Burnt Waffles, thank you for the Prime for 12 months in a row. Sid Nook, thank you for the Prime for 5 months. Maritime Seagull, thank you for the Tier 1 for 2 months in a row. M. Larry, thank you for the Prime for 10 months in a row. Caleb, thank you for the Tier 1 for 3 months in a row. Meeks, thank you for the Tier 1 for 12 months. Levy, thank you for the Tier 1 for 4 months in a row. I think I said it right. Summer Lay, thank you for the Prime for 5 months in a row. Shimmering Egg, Tier 2 for 15 months. Sheesh. That's all I have to say as well. Shimmering Egg, thank you so much, Egg. Glam Rock, thank you for the Tier 1 for 6 months in a row. Just the Gemini 22, thank you for the Tier 1 for 10 months in a row. Cocoa TMC, thank you for the Prime for 14 months in a row. Twiggerus, thank you for the Tier 1 for 9 months in a row. Lebby Live, thank you for the Tier 1 for 7 months in a row. Yuki Tanuki, thank you for the Tier 1 for 10 months in a row. Happy Grizzly Bear, thank you for the Prime. No, the Tier 1 for 4 months in a row. Thank you so much. Winter BYN, thank you for the Tier 1 for 9 months in a row. Imburn, thank you for the Tier 1 for 2 months in a row. Who's both? Thank you for the 333. Hi, King. Oh, you guys remember that I love the King thing. I do. I love the King thing. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. Hi, fellow King Queen. Who's boat? Hi. Red Alert 7, thank you for the Tier 1 for 4 months in a row. Vivian, Me Lover, thank you for the Prime for 3 months in a row. 69, Gabe 420, haha, funny name. Tier 1 for 12 months, thank you so much. Miss Belligerent, thank you for the Tier 1 for 14 months in a row. Studdles, thank you for the Prime for 12 months in a row. Goose Tails, thank you for the Prime for 10 months. Sophia, Bye Gale, thank you for the Prime for 10 months in a row. Suki, thank you for the Tier 1 for 6 months in a row. Happy Sav, thank you for the Tier 2 for 14 months. Jordan, thank you for the Tier 1 for 3 months. Elieves L. Hi, thank you so much for the Tier 1 for 5 months in a row. Welcome back. Welcome back to you as well. Welcome. Thank you. Sugar Honey, thank you for the Tier 1 for 2 months in a row. Zora 22, thank you for the Prime for 4 months in a row. Gilded Serpents, thank you for the Tier 1 for 9 months in a row. Bathe Tub, thank you for the Prime. Big Sis Kate, thank you for the Tier 1 for 14 months in a row. Wannabe Lee, thank you for the Prime for 14 months. Curio 115, thank you for the Prime. No, I don't know where I was at. Oh, I do. Carolyn, thank you so much for the Tier 1 for 10 months in a row. Hatsui Kaz. Oh no, it's moving now. Thank you for the one. Hi Sam, love your streams. Keep doing the thing. Thank you so much. I will try my best. Weird person with 200 bits. Hey Sam, happy holidays. Thank you so much. Happy holidays, you. So anything with 200 bits. Sheesh. Also, thank you so much for streaming. I was stressing over Nessie, but you saved the night. I do what I can. Madoli, I think with the Prime for 4 months. Ka-chow King. I'm loving the King thing still. Don't care if there's a ka-chow in front of it. I will ka-chow for the King thing. Palia Andre, I think of the Prime for 11 months in a row. Sunshine Squish, think of the Tier 1 for 4 months in a row. Dino, think of the Tier 1 for 4 months. Azula, think of the Tier 1 for 5 months. And K Yellow, think of the Prime for 3 months. Woo! Just chatting more like just reading donations. I mean, sheesh. We're done though. I've caught up. I'm caught up with you guys. What can I say? You guys had the whole intro to get ahead of me. And I caught up. What can I say? Gamer moment. Oh, Big Sis Kate, thank you so much for the gifted subs. How many was that? Was that 15 tier 1s? Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for the 15 tier 1s. And Shannon, thank you for the turn for 12 months. Happy New Year, smile. Happy New Year. Thank you so much, chat. Anyways, what was I saying earlier? It's been far too long, chat. It has been far too long since I've seen you all. How have you been, chat? We've been good. Good Christmas, good holidays, good things. I'm so glad to hear that, chat. I'm so glad you all just answered me and screamed yes at your screen. That was really nice of you to do that, and makes me feel like I'm really a part of what's going on right now. I love that. I'm in a weird mood tonight. I'm in a good mood tonight, though. Like a good mood. Like a giddy mood. That's the word I'm looking for. Giddy. Wibbly Wonka, thank you with the 1337. Hi, King. Have good stream. Paprika seasoning. What's up with the paprika seasoning? I don't get it. I don't get it. Lazy Cheesecake, thank you with 200 bits. Lazy Cheesecake, thank you with 200 bits. Hi, Sam. How are you doing? Hope you had good holidays and Happy New Year's. It was a great New Year. Spent it with my mama. After spending a nice little trip with my mom, I took pictures. Okay, for those of you that don't know, I have a pretty expensive camera. That's currently what you're seeing me through. And I took it with me for the trip. That way I could, what's it called? I could take pictures. Because man's be feeling artsy. You know what I mean? Man's be feeling a little artsy. Want to take some pictures. You know what I mean? So I did. And I took some pictures. I was on Amazon on Black Friday, and the whole thing that started it was I'm on Amazon and I see this like really nice lens that is like a telephotic lens, like it can see things really far away, and it was like 80% off and it fit my camera, and I was like, I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy this. She is not our mom. She's my mom, chat. I'm not even gonna start this with you guys. She's my mom. I don't care. Anyways, here's what thing of the oh yeah. So anyways, yeah, I bought the camera. And I took some pictures, so hopefully you guys like them. I'll show you some of them. I had to take some of them out because they had people in them. that might not have been wanted to be shown on stream to all of you beautiful people. So I took them out. There's like one of me that I left that I actually kind of liked. So, you know, who's boat thinking for the 333? My boyfriend's, who's boat thinking for the 333? My boyfriend started learning how to do the Rubik's Cube, and I heard play over and over in my head was the yellow algorithm, duck algorithm, fridge algorithm. I blame you. Hey, you got to know the algorithms. That's how you solve the cube. It's all algorithms. That's literally what it is. Annie, thank you for the 333 as well, by the way. We stand an artsy king. I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Post them. Okay, wait. I had a crazy idea, chat. This is a crazy idea. I know. It's a crazy idea. What if I make an Instagram post? What if you guys... We choose which ones you guys think are your favorites, and I will post them onto Instagram. Yeah? Yeah? Why not? You know, why not? Just why not? Why not? I'd never be posted on the Instagram. We need to get some content on the Instagram. That's why I made sure I had one of my face. That way I can make it the first one on the Instagram. I noticed that they do better if it's like you at the beginning. You know what I mean? You know. So a Sam Instagram post. Let me make sure I'm signed in on my computer before I show you guys my desktop. That way I don't leak something that I might not want to leak. Instagram. Am I signed in? Oh, I am signed in. At @the_Awesamdude on Instagram if you want to follow me. Captain Puffy's post. I like that. Puffy's my friend. Bad Boy Halo post. I like that. That's my friend. DHU post. I like that. That's my friend. Wilbur. That's my friend too. Captain Puffy. That's my friend. I'm just liking everyone's posts. This is so fun. Oh my gosh, I want to get verified on this. How do you get verified on Instagram? Okay, why does it keep asking me if I want to translate this page from Indonesian? It's in English. Stop it, Google Chrome. Anyways, anything with the 333, post the pictures, King. I'll show you guys first, though. Naturally, I'll show you guys first. Already following? Naturally. I love that. I appreciate that. Also, I missed a bunch of subs, so I'm going to catch up. Hold on. Damien Eo, thank you for the tier 1 for 4 months. Debbie Spaghetti, tier 1 for 13, thank you. Mamoris, thank you for the tier 1 for... You know, I'm not sure I like this one as much, this song. No, I do. It's really vibey. Hafsa Hershey, thank you for the tier 1 for 15 months in a row. Squiddy, thank you for the prime for 12 months. It just seemed a little intense right there. That Tommy Boy, thank you for the tier 1 for 11 months. Brooke, thank you for the prime for 5. Taylor Not Cool, thank you for the tier 1 for 8. I thought I was going to cough. Didn't happen. Arexlius, Axrelius, thank you for the turn for 12 months in a row. Buttercup, thank you for the turn for 9 months in a row. Mushroom Kate, thank you for the turn for 12 months. A whole year. Let's go. I don't know what's happening with me. Oh, I just ate Chipotle, by the way, so I'm kind of burpy. You know, the beans. Tiny Gaming, thank you for the tier 1 for 3 months in a row. What is wrong with me tonight? Chaos Twitter TV, thank you for the turn for 13 months. Kate, thank you for the turn for 10 months. And Chameleon No Brain, thank you for the turn for 3 months as well. Post some? I will. I'll post them. I will. After you guys look at them and tell me that they're good. Because I need to... Like, so there's like 2 levels of the internet in my eyes, right? So there's like the internet where like I'm researching things, looking things up. And then there's like the internet where like I post something online. And like that's where people will be like really harsh. You know what I mean? Like people will be brutal on the internet, you know? And then there's like my Twitch. Hold on, I'm plugging in my... desk mat so it'll light up because I want to feel fancy. Anyways, and then there's like my Twitch chat, which is like, you know, what am I going to say that's going to be that embarrassing or like, even if y'all don't like my pictures, I feel like you guys will be honest and be like, I don't like that picture, but like, good job though. You know what I mean? Because like I already did the thing with the fish and the horse. So that was pretty embarrassing. So like, I feel like it can't get much worse. You know what I mean? It just can't.
Paprika seasoning.
I don't get why the paprika seasoning was thrown in there, but so be it. Sugar Honey, thank you for the 429. Welcome back, Sam. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you as well. Is that a fish? Anyways, yeah, we might play TFT later. I don't know. Maybe vibe with some of the boys. Kahobi, thank you for the turn for 8 months in a row. Nessia Nova, thank you for the tier 1. And Amy Marie, thank you for the turn for 4 months in a row. Only the chat can bully you. True. Someone said, "Oh, I will defend you, King." I do it. I appreciate you. Just don't be mean to people though, unless they're being mean to me, and then, you know, do what you must. I'm kidding, but it's like they turn for 11 months in a row. Okay. Let me show you guys some pictures. We'll start with the 26th. Oh, I only have some pictures, by the way, because like we were only on the trip for so long. So, okay. I'm actually so proud of some of these two, chat. So don't break my heart, okay? Don't break my heart about this, okay? Like, don't make me feel super bad if you don't like them. Just, you can be forceful about it, but like, not like mean about it. I'm kidding, chat. You can be as mean as you want. I have thick skin, otherwise I wouldn't be doing this. Is the paprika thing from when we made Boomer eat the paprika and that was on the salmon? Because that was my proudest moment. That is true that paprika did that. Boomer ate the paprika. Okay, hold on. Desktop view. Is it the right desktop? Boom. I took this, chat. I took this. I actually took this. Look at the detail on this bird. Look at me go, chat. I think I'm gonna post this one. If not this one, this is my model bird. I took so many pictures of this bird. It's a raven, I do believe. I think it's a raven. The people from the park said they were ravens. So I took this picture of the bird. Beautiful bird. I also got this one. Hold on, I'll move the cam. I'm gonna go to top corner, I think, out of the way. Yeah, there you go. So I took this one of the bird. Actually not bad though, right, chat? Like, actually pretty good picture, right? Like, am I right? Am I right? Like, that's actually pretty good, right? Like, I didn't do horrible on this bird. I should watermark these. Like, Nat Geo should hit me up after this stream is over and like ask me to like, you know, make them all the money on the bird pictures. Oh, and I got this one. I don't know if I like this one as much. The colors came out really cool in this one though. It's so weird to think that they're like low-key kind of blue. Look at that. Look at that. He'd been eating. You can see where he'd been munching on some food, you know. He'd been eating pretty well. So yeah, this was basically what I spent my entire trip doing. Some of them are just landscape pictures. Oh, this was a cactus that I liked. This is a cactus picture. So yeah, little cactus action. Oh, I guess I should explain where I was at during the trip. So we went a lot of places. So we started in Arches National Park in the United States. We started there, and we went to several other national parks, which we'll get to when we get to them in the pictures. And then we ended it off going to Las Vegas and flying back home. So yeah, that's where all we went. So a lot of it's from like the national parks and stuff like that. So yeah, anyways, back to the desktop view. So yeah, there was cacti there. It's kind of like a desert vibe. I don't know. Very beautiful place though. Even though it was like very deserty, it was very beautiful. Oh, there's me. This is the picture of me from the first day. That's me. Look at me go, chat. Look at me go. Is this Instagram worthy though? I took this with a DSLR with one hand. Look at me go. Look at me go. I also kind of have the scruffy look going on. I kind of like the scruffy look, chat. Should I vibe with scruffy look from here on out? Cold. The Facebook dad pose. I mean, yeah, sure. Say that. You know, that's okay. Facebook dad pose is okay. This is a selfie with a DSLR in the middle of the wilderness. Okay. These are so cool. These are probably my favorite ones from the whole trip. Look at these little birds, chat. I took these from so far away. I was like a mile away. It's Tay-Thing with the craft and camera work. What can't he do? I'm saying. It's just king things. Look at these little birds. Look at how cute they are. They're so adorable. Look at how shiny they are too. They're so beautiful. They're beautiful little birds. I got this really cool shot of a bird trying to land on a stick where his bird friends were. So we got a bird mid-flight here. Got a little mid-flight bird. Little bird chilling on the log. And then a little bird on the backside of the log. The little birds are just, they're so nice. Oh, and then this was the pine tree arch. I thought it was nice. I think I blurred the background out on this one. It looks bad though. It looks better like this. Anyways, that's from the first day. Or the first part of our trip, I should say. Okay, exit full screen. Here is the second day. Boom. Desktop. So this was on our way from Arches. We passed the Black Dragon Canyon. Actually, I have no idea what that thing says. I'm going next. I don't know if there's bad things on there. But this is what I'm talking about, the landscapes, chat. Look at that. Look at that. The clouds rolling in. Look at that. Look at that. Little farm. Oh, this is cool. So there's like there's like arches over the road there where they've like drilled through the mountains. Look at that. That is crazy, right? I was amazed at like how it is. Also, notice the snow on the ground now. Remember when I said it was cold? Yes, it was like snow on the ground, kind of cold. I'm from Texas. Okay, there's not snow on the ground all the time like that. So yeah, basically like it was crazy. There was snow. But look, like you can actually see the snow falling in this picture. Isn't that crazy? This camera was too good. Yeah, this was the Dixie National Forest. So this is when we're leaving it, technically, because we're going into another park. I had to take this picture to show you guys. Look at what the road was like. Look at what the road looked like. We're going to Bryce Canyon here, by the way. That's where we're headed. Look at the road. That is a snow plow up there, plowing the road. Like, why was this road not closed? Right? Like, shouldn't this road be closed? Canadians are clowning? I mean, sure. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure there's more snow. Imagine you've, like, never really seen super thick snow, okay? Like, I've seen thick snow when I've gone, like, traveling other places. This is insane, though. That is ice. That is not snow. That is ice on the road. And the thing is, the snowplow up here, okay? You can't tell from the picture, but we're cruising at a nice, safe 25, okay? A safe 25, just crawling along. This snowplow comes up behind us, and he is moving past us. Like, I'm glad we got out of the way, because he was not stopping. He was on a mission, okay? And it was just crazy. I just had to take this picture to capture this moment so I could share that with you, because it was something else. And look at this, the camera's gone all blurry. It was something else. It was something else. Anyways, here's some pictures of Bryce Canyon. Kind of nice, kind of artsy. I feel like kind of nice. Bryce Point. We were at 8,000 feet here. Cool sign. The signs were really cool. I took a lot of pictures of signs. Here's kind of the view of Bryce's canyon though. Don't know who Bryce is. Guy owns a canyon though. So it's a really crazy place though. They're just crazy. It's just crazy to look at because like you're in a desert, but there's snow everywhere. You know what I mean? It was really pretty though. It was kind of insane. Yeah, this was the cool picture. This is like what the Bryce Canyon is known for, is these like little structure things like this. So yeah, that's what it looks like. And then in the distance was like these other mountains that were like snowy mountains that I, have come to know and expect and enjoy. Really, really pretty place. I don't know what other pictures are in here. I feel like we've kind of seen the highlights of Bryce Canyon, which is what this day was. Oh, I thought these were fun. It says, warning, area closed, dangerous cliffs. Where's the cliff in the picture, chat? Like, thank goodness this sign was here, Like, if I wanted to go jump into the snow right there, there could have been a cliff right there. You know what I mean? Like, this place was dangerous. Like, that's what I was like. What I was like seeing, like at these parks, is like the people who run these parks just trust us. They have a lot of faith in us not walking off the edge of this cliff, which is just crazy to think about. But yeah, this is where I zoomed in. I think I put on the other lens here for this. But yeah, These are pretty cool. Oh, here they are. This is the picture I was looking for. But no, like seriously, chat, like there were places in these parks where you're like thousands of feet up and there's no guardrail. And like we're driving in this rental car. I'm like, dude, stay near the middle of the road, because if you go off over here, that's it. That's the end of this story right there. Because that is like a 4,000 foot drop, like to the next cliff down below us. It was crazy. It looks like chess pieces. It does. It was just crazy. It was a crazy, crazy place. Oh yeah, more signs. I thought the signs were cool. Oh yeah, I took pictures of these everywhere I saw them. They're like the, I was in my moccasins because it was cold. Look at me go. Look at me go. Footwear for every situation. Anyways, I took pictures of all the little landmarks. Should have just emoji water bucket. You know what? That's true. That's true. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So it's like where they've like marked that like, oh, this is like the point where we do the ecological survey and stuff. It's just cool. I took pictures of them everywhere that we went where I saw them. They're not slippers, Chan. They're moccasins. That's what they are. That's a moccasin. They're like fluffy on the inside. Do I have them out? I don't have them out, but they're like super warm. You didn't wear boots? I mean, we weren't doing any like hard hiking here, Chad. It was like a pretty straightforward hiking. Hold on. Someone just texted me. It's mom. Anyways, whatever. You can roast my moccasins if you want, but they were comfortable. And they were warm, which is what I was really going for, because we were riding in the car a lot. So, like, I didn't want to have on hiking boots. Pronounce the C before the S. Moccasins. Oh, wait, is that how you say it? I always thought it was moccasins, but it's moccasins? Huh. That makes sense, actually. So, yeah, this is what it looked like. That was a good picture. I think this might be the last one. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Just chatting. Streamer things. Oh, this is the day that we went into Zion too. Hold on, wait. This is where we went into Zion. I forgot there was more. Back here. So we went into Zion this day too. So this is the sign going in. I want you guys to take special note of this sign, because when we leave, something's happened. And I want to see if you guys can tell what's happened when we leave. So yeah, here is the, here's the sign. On the way in. Beautiful sign. This was very humorous to me. Today's fire danger was at an all-time high. If you look closely, there's snow everywhere. And we were at an all-time high. There's just no way it's true. There's just no way it was true. I refuse to accept that fire danger is at a high. And I thought it was funny. This is the mountain that you drive through to get into Zion on the scenic route. Was terrifying to be under the mountain. This is when we stopped. It's getting late, so the camera picked up the car lights a lot, but... Anyways, now on to the next set. Sorry, chat. I almost gypped you of several pictures. Boom. Okay, these are in Zion, these pictures. Also, why does the camera look kind of grainy? Hey. Focus. Bring it back. Oh, there we go. Got him. Fixed it. Okay. Back to my desktop. Hold on, I'm getting in a gamer position right now. Oh, check your posture, guys. Don't sit bad like me. So this was in Zion. It was cloudy on this day. I did some fun things with the camera here that I want to... I'm going to show you guys. But look at how crazy this was. There were trees like on the top of these cliffs, and then like it was just weird, guys. There was snow, but it was like all rocky. There were actually trees here, though. This was like when we started seeing trees on the trip. Which was kind of weird. It was crazy beautiful though. Like the snowy, look at that. Look at this tree, this random bush I took a picture of. Look at how aesthetic it looks. Look at that. Little snow action. Kind of cool. The way he says Zion makes me laugh. That's how you say it. It's Zion or Zion. I mean, it's the same difference. Zion. So yeah, it was just It was just crazy, chat. It was a beautiful thing. We went underneath this waterfall. Look at that. Might need to turn, but we went under a waterfall, which was kind of, especially since it was freezing outside, it was kind of a little crazy. There's another picture of the waterfall from behind. This was the staircase you had to climb. Keep in mind, it's icy snowy. Look at these steps. There is ice on all these steps. I was wearing hiking boots now. I'll tell you that. I also really like this picture. I just feel like it's artsy. I don't know why. Is this picture nice, chat, or what? It's like, is this one good? Is this like a good one? I feel like it's a good one. Like a real good one. Anyways, this was what was really crazy though, was all the trees being covered in snow. Like this. It was crazy to see. Yeah. And then, oh, I got this picture of the waterfall behind this tree with the snow in it. I mean, look at me go, chat. Look at me go. Look at me go. Look at that. Like, that's crazy, right? Here's a picture of a waterfall. Sorry to these random people, but I wanted to show the waterfall. If you didn't want to be shown onto my Twitch stream, you should have told me that when I was taking the picture, even though we were like a long ways away from each other. Anyways, we went to the Emerald Pools. That's what the name of this place is. Here's another waterfall. That's the same waterfall, just from below. A little further down the path, if you will. Bush picture. There's the two water. That's the waterfall you were just seeing. I've just walked further. This is the mountain behind the waterfall. Craziness. Yeah, it was gorgeous, chat. Honestly, you know, I'm a Texas boy through and through, but I will say, like, the snowy mountains it was quite beautiful. It really was. It really was. It was quite beautiful. Fun picture of the sign. I really like taking pictures of the sign. I don't know why. Here's the Emerald Pool at the top. I did not cross the chain to take this picture, and if the wildlife services from the park thinks that I did, they are wrong. But I kind of tried to get the like reflection of the mountain. I wish the water was a little more still. Look at that though. I mean, that just looks majestic, right? Right? It's just that was a nice one. I loved their foot signs. These were in a lot of places. But this one just looked really aesthetic since it was like their rocky staircase that was covered in ice and snow. And then they dropped a nice little footprint in front of it. It was just funny to me. The idea of like, yeah, this is your path. Keep on going. Yeah, this doesn't look like a path, does it? Let's go. Keep going. So yeah, we went to the upper Emerald Pool. I don't know if I took any good pictures of it. It started snowing really heavily when I got up to it. Stick to the trail. Look at this sign. What happened to this sign, chat? What happened to it? Something like ate this sign. They're like way taller than this. I don't know. This one was just weird. Anyways, here's a view of kind of like part of the valley in Zion National. This is it was honestly, chat, I don't even know how much what else I can say. It was just a gorgeous thing. And apparently it only snows there like 2 or 3 days out of the year normally. So us seeing it in snow was like super rare. To see it in snow. But yeah, here's the two mountains that were in between. There's a mountain here and a mountain here and a mountain behind me in the picture. And then this is the other side of the valley. So yeah, that was kind of just to give you a little frame of reference on this picture. I thought it was a cool picture. There's that mountain on the right, like I was saying. This is the mountain on the right. Oh, Foolish is saying hello. Let's see if he wants to call. Hello? Hello, Foolish Gamers. I'm turning you up. Talk again. I can hear you, Foolish. I hear you. Chat can't hear you. Omega lol. Sorry, my audio broke because Windows update. They can hear you now.
Wait, are you on Windows 11?
Yeah. I hit a nice little Windows update unbeknownst to me. Something I didn't want.
I'm putting that off till as long as I can.
Yeah, I was too until I turned on my computer today. Hold on, I'm turning on my thing so you can see what's happening. I'm showing chat pictures that I took on my trip.
Oh, Alaska.
No. No, not even really close, to be honest. This is Zion National Park.
Yeah, I don't know. I just saw snow and a lot of it.
Well,
so
you and me both.
Alaska.
That's how I was when I got there. I was like, wow, snow. But no, it's like the mountains. I was just showing them. What else is in here? Oh yeah. Okay, this is where I got artsy with the camera chat. Okay. Foolish. Tell me what you think too. So I turned the ISO all the way down on the camera, and I took a picture that was essentially dark on the camera, so that nothing was in the camera. And then I upped the exposure in post, so I allowed it all to become brighter. But because of that, the things that were bright originally in the photo are like glowing. So it's like really cool. Like it gives this like really cool effect.
Honestly, like oddly enough, and I can see what you mean by the glow. You can see like on like the hill and like this.
Yeah,
like oddly, like my favorite part is kind of like the ominous sky.
Yeah, right. Like the sky looked like that. It was just like gray, but then like you can like kind of see the clouds more, right?
Like it just looks. It's almost like a storm's a brewing.
Yeah. Like it was snowing too. Like when I took this picture, it was snowing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I would not be able to guess that.
But yeah. Look, see, you can see the snow in this one. There's little snow falling right there. Little snow.
Oh man, look at the detail on that. Look at the little.
Oh, this is the upper pools waterfall chat. I think this is one of the only pictures I got of it, because look at how hard it was snowing when I got up there. Like the whole thing, you could see snow everywhere. Yeah, it started snowing like really hard, and I was on my way up to it. I loved this sign that said "Warning: No swimming." When it was like actively a blizzard outside, that was my favorite part. Was that they said no swimming.
Like, how are they supposed to know when it's snowing or not?
Oh, I did get some good pictures of it. So there's water beneath this waterfall, obviously, like a pool. I just don't know who'd be crazy enough to go swim in it.
Oh, so that's like an active waterfall.
Oh yeah, no, like a real waterfall.
So it's not frozen.
Oh yeah, no. It's like falling right now. Like that was moving. Should have taken a video for you, foolish. I don't know though. I can't believe they needed a no swimming sign. It was like 18 degrees outside.
Well, some people are nuts. They'll try like break the ice and then go for a little dip in the pool.
Not me. I'm not that crazy, I guess.
You don't live enough.
But yeah, we got some more foot signs. Those were nice. I was explaining this to them, foolish. I don't know if you see snow regularly, but I do not see snow. The most snow I've ever seen in my life in Texas was the last year when I was snowed in to my house, which there was a lot of snow. It was like 4 inches of snow, but there was like 8 inches of snow here, like double that amount of snow. And the thing is, some of the locals there, I was like talking to them about it, and I was like, wow, this snow is crazy. And the guy was like, oh no, it's not. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, oh, we've had snow before where like it'll cover a doorway. What?
Cover a whole doorway?
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen like pictures of that, but like I've never quite experienced it.
What do you do when the snow covers your doorway?
Dude, I would just start munching on it.
You're gonna eat it all? Eat your way out?
I couldn't eat all of it, but I would try to make a dent. That's like free food, water. I'd eat that up.
Wait, someone in chat said they had over 3 feet before? Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah. Oh, here, I think we're gonna go like down the valley some. Oh, I did the same thing to the camera here that I did in this one. I did it here, but looking at the sky more and like this mountainside. So it kind of has that same like glowy effect. I don't know. I watched a YouTube video where this guy was doing like some really cool photo stuff, and I was like, I can do that, you know? I can do that.
Almost looks like a painting.
I painted this, foolish, actually. This one's a painting that I slipped in.
That's a wonderful picture.
You like how I painted it?
Yeah, it reminds me of like Bob Ross, but if Bob Ross hated trees and loved mountains much more.
Yeah, well, there are trees, though. They're just snowy trees.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, he would never give the trees that little exposure.
You're right. They would be the main focus. The trees would be. Yeah, fair enough. Little artsy tree picture. I was feeling artsy, foolish. I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm pretty artsy.
Oh, look at that. He's got a little soft side.
I do.
He likes
got my little artsy side. I think some of them I go down the valley, and there's some cool pictures. This was crazy though. This was the trail I was walking on. So you can see it's like watery mush where people have been walking throughout the day. So the trail wasn't really that bad. But it was like snowy everywhere. It was pretty crazy.
Wait, so where is this again?
This is in a Zion National Park.
Where's that?
Google it.
Zion
National Park.
Oh, actually, the first thing that came was Zion Williamson.
Oh, nice.
Zion Park.
Yeah. It's in Utah. Foolish. It's in
Utah.
Yes.
Why'd you make me do all that work just to then give me the answer as I'm reading it?
Because I thought it was funny.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, this is a rock. As you can see, rock.
I like rock.
Different rock, but still a rock.
That one.
This one's pretty cool. Tree branch. I told you I was feeling artsy.
Yeah.
It was just weird as well because the rocks are like red, okay? Like red and black only. And then the snow was like such a like bright white. It was like really weird. It was just like a strange thing to witness, you know?
Oh, reminds me of rock.
Oh yeah, here's the full valley, chat. So this is a picture of the valley. It was gorgeous though. So there's a river, obviously. This is what's it called? I knew the name of it like a couple days ago.
Let's go.
I forget what it's called, but yeah. So this is the valley, and then I did the same thing, but it didn't turn out as well. And I later found out that if you're gonna do the low ISO thing, you got to have a like smaller area where you're taking the picture because like back here just looks weird, right? Like that doesn't look real because it was too far away.
I guess that part does kind of look, yeah, it's like oddly blue over there.
Yeah. So I found out that I can like make the picture look really weird, but anyways, I still think it looks cool.
Why do that part though? Like why is the rest of it? Like why just that part?
I don't know. I think the further away you get, the worse it gets when you do the thing. I don't know. I'm not actually that good at taking pictures. I followed a YouTube tutorial on how to do that thing and did it like every time I did the cool pictures. That's literally what I did. Little cactus. There was cactus here as well in this park in the snow. It was just... You ever seen a cactus in the snow, young foolish?
I didn't know cactuses could get
Me
snow.
Me neither. I thought they would die immediately. Like, you think cactus, you think desert, you know?
Yeah, like I've played Minecraft a lot, and like I've never seen
a tundra with cacti in it, right?
Yeah.
That's where I'm coming from. That's what I think too.
They need to patch that.
Oh yeah, this is the same thing, but less mountains. See how it looks better? But see, even in this one, the mountain behind doesn't glow like this one does.
Yeah,
Unlucky.
it's like two different. They looks like they're just two different mountains.
Yeah,
like,
well, they are two different mountains.
No, I know that, but like, don't interrupt my intellectual.
Oh, my bad.
Prowess.
Yeah, yes, of course. Please continue. Where were you going with that?
Like they look like they're like competing. Like one's like the good mountain and one's the bad.
I see. I see.
They're having like a mountain war.
They could be. You never know.
Or it's like they're playing Mountain Simulator. And
but yeah,
different skins.
Different skins. That's what it is. They put on different skins.
Yeah.
This one turned out pretty cool though. I like this one. This is a good picture of like the whole valley kind of. This one I didn't do the camera thing too, obviously. Is this the new Caves and Cliffs update? How'd you know, chat? This is a rock. I thought it was cool, though. I wish that people hadn't messed with the snow on it, because it would look way cooler, but it was still pretty cool. Did you see my bird pictures, Foolish?
The birds?
You didn't see my birds?
All I saw was rock.
Okay, we'll go back. I'll show you the birds in a minute.
It's snow.
At the end, I'll show you the birds again, so you can see them. But yeah, there's the valley again. Then I did the same thing. Look, so this is like the same picture. I took it normally, I turned the ISO all the way down, and then exposed it in post. But this is with the ISO on like 0. So the actual picture, like the original, has like nothing. Like you can't see hardly anything in it.
It really is kind of, like I said, like that makes it more of like a painting, I feel like, when you do it like that. Or like almost like a movie cinematography.
Yeah, maybe. I think it looks cool though.
I think it is very interesting.
Oh, this is a deer. Wait, can you see it, chat? I just pointed to it though. Can you see it, Foolish?
Let me find it.
Yeah, find it. Where's Waldo the deer? It's a deer. It's in this picture. There's a deer.
Is it obvious or like, or not?
It's obvious to me, but I know where it's at.
Is it like right in the middle, like that? Like
Here?
Is that like the body of it?
Here?
That it's like literally direct. Yeah. Oh, is that
That's
the body of
that's
it?
a rock.
I like rock. Why don't we focus on the rock?
There they are.
Oh.
Little deer.
Is it
They
dead?
all have,
Wait, what's it doing?
They all have collars on. It was eating these bushes. It was really crazy. It was eating the bushes. This one was really
it's
far
not
away
lying
though.
Down.
No. It's eating bush. It's eating tree there.
Kind of looks like it's just dead.
And forest. Ant, do you want to join the call? You can if you want. And then more mountains. There's a lot of mountains in Zion, obviously. This picture looks pretty cool. This is the valley from the end of it. From the west rim, if you will.
Is that edited or not?
Oh, he does. What? This one? No, this one's a natural photo. This one, I didn't do the thing to this
sign,
one. The one I just went back to?
Oh, yeah.
No, this one's normal.
Oh. Wait, was this like how long of a hike is this?
It was pretty long. We hiked for like the whole day almost. We hiked a long time.
Were you ever worried of bears?
No, I don't know if there's bears, but I wasn't worried. We weren't like in the deep woods or anything. I took this picture of the road.
Hi.
Hey, Ant.
Yeah. Hi.
I'm showing chat my pictures from my trip. So yeah, took an artsy picture of the road. Cause, why not? I love how you can see the snow on it though. It's so cool. They use this okay, I did not know this was a thing. Okay, maybe y'all are gonna make fun of me. I did not know this was a thing though. There's this fluid or these it's like granular even. Of they call it de-icer and they put it on the roads and the road just can't get icy with it. I understand how it's like a chemical or something, right? But it's just it's weird because there'll be snow everywhere and no snow on the road. It's not salt. It's not just salt, chat. Salt does help and salt makes it grippier for the cars, but there is de-icer. That's not salt. There's another thing. I thought it was just salt too, but I discovered that there's more. There is more than just salt.
That's snow.
There's de-icer. It's de-icer. That exists as well. Anyways, whatever.
There's also D's nuts.
D's nuts. It lowers the melting. It makes it easier for the snow to melt. I don't know. Whatever. Make fun of me, Chad. I don't care.
No, I know what you're talking about. It's just salt, basically, because salt.
No. It's not salt. It's not salt, though.
That was a lie, so we just call it that?
No, they do use salt on the roads to make it better to drive on them, but there's
Damn,
also de-icer. Whatever, I don't care anymore. Here's a river.
Stop saying de-icer.
These nuts. Cool river. I walked out into the river to take this. My feet got freezing. I got a picture of this little bird. Apparently, it's hard to get pictures of these little birds. I got a lot of them, but this is the only good one. And they said it was cool. The park ranger said this was a cool picture because no one sees these birds apparently.
Wait, so you could sell that to Discovery Channel?
Probably not. Maybe. At National
You caught
Geographic.
it in action.
Hit me up.
Did you get a video of it?
No, I didn't get a video of it. Well, I was shooting freehand though, so
You were shooting at the birds?
with my camera, I was shooting the pictures with no tripod.
Like a revolver in one hand, free shooting. Bang, bang, bang.
Stick them up, bird. Let me take your picture. You're gonna get your picture taken whether you like it or not. Okay. See, look, this person in the chat gets it. De-icer is usually it's Connor's. Thank you, Connor. The de-icer is usually isopropyl alcohol or ethanol based. Exactly. It's not salt. Boom. Take that, chat.
So why do we call it salt?
No, we don't call it.
We don't?
They're two completely different things.
Well, which one's the better one? Which one's the better bang for your buck? Salt or ethanol?
Well, if you're trying to drive on it, the salt's good because it gives you grip. But if you want there to just be no ice, you use the de-icer.
Don't I want grip so I'm not slipping?
You want both.
That's it. Next time, I'm just going to start pouring beer on the snow.
Oh yeah, and there were deer. I took pictures of some deer. Look at my deer pictures.
Were you free shooting those too?
Yeah, I was. I'll take both. Add a little lime as well. Oh my gosh. So yeah, I saw some deer. Oh, that's it. That's all I have from that day. Okay. I think there's only one other day that I have pictures from that are like fun nature-y photos to show you, chat. I think there's only one more day. I'm not positive. Yeah, there is. These ones have some cool nature photos too, though. Hold on, let me go full screen on it and then go to the desktop view. Boom! So this is us leaving Zion. We're leaving it here. And the cloud cover was really cool on this day. Here's a picture of the road. I did the thing to this one. I didn't go all the way to 0 though on this one. I like just slightly turned it down, but it looks kind of cool, I think. You can see the road. See, look.
Whoa.
You're telling me
is that edited?
No. Well,
that looks wild.
It slightly is. Like, so I turned the ISO down again and then exposed it in post.
I just, once again, like, I guess I'm just kind of a cloud guy. I just like clouds,
you're loving the sky. You're
like, I'm loving that like dark cloud. Like that one looks like it's brewing up something nasty.
Well, it was.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
It was. I mean, it was a crazy day. Okay, so this is when I was leaving the park. This is the sign when we were leaving. Remember when I said to look at the sign entering earlier, chat, to see if you could see something different that had happened to it? Remember when I told you to see if anything had changed about the sign?
Are you?
Who does this?
Are you vandalizing, Sam?
Who did this? No, I'm pissed about this. Who did this?
Cringe. It's so cringe.
Who did this? I want to know who did this.
I feel like it's just not surprising.
I want to have a one-on-one serious conversation with whoever did this. Like, people who do stuff like this just need to be slapped in the face. There's just no way around it. Like, there's no other way to fix this other than to just, like, slap people in the face. Who vandalizes a national park sign? Like, people travel from, like, all over the place to come to this park. And, like, luckily, I got a picture of it, like, the day that we got there, the day before when we got there. So I wasn't that upset. But, like, it's so cringe to like ruin this. Like, imagine someone, like, they've taken a trip, they've gone hundreds of miles to see it, and then they get there and someone's written Cali Life #forever on the sign. Like, I would be so frustrated. I would lose my mind. Anyways, rant's over. Oh, also, we were still at extreme fire danger levels, even though there's snow everywhere. Every time I saw this on the trip, I took a picture of it because I just thought it was so dumb that we were at extreme fire danger when there's literally snow everywhere. Icy. I thought that sign was very duh. Oh, I got a picture of the icicles. That was kind of fun. Then we went to Nevada, like I said. So there's us going to Nevada. We saw Lake Mead. Oh, I think there's pictures of oh, this one has the clouds too, foolish. I think oh, it does. Wait, it happens, chat? It probably was very dry. I mean, yeah, I guess, but like if there's that much snow, is it really going to go crazy with the fire? I don't know.
I'm starting to think I'm more of a fan of mean clouds.
So you don't like the gentle, soft, beautiful clouds like these?
Like, don't get me wrong, it's nice, but I like a little danger with my clouds.
Ah, yes. We went to the Valley of the Fire State Park. That's what this place was called. I was trying to remember the name of it. This is where we went next. This was like our last stop, basically. This and the Hoover Dam. I think I have pictures of both in here to show you guys. We saw goats there. They called them bighorn sheep, but I'm sorry, that's not a bighorn sheep. It's a goat. I don't care what they say. I got some awesome pictures of these goats, though, because they were really close to the area we were at. Look at this goat. I mean, you can see him eating. Where is my Nat Geo, like, signing, guys? I need to be signed by Nat Geo. Right? Like, isn't this a crazy picture? You can see this guy eating. I think I got a couple really good ones. That
Wait,
one's
is this
like
a camera, or is this?
yeah, it's the camera I'm using right now on stream. My DSLR. Yep, got some goats. Is that J-Slot?
Out in the wild.
Oh, this was the good one of the goat that I got. What a little guy, you know? What a little guy. Just what a little guy. I think these are females though. Maybe I'm wrong. Did he have hops? I didn't see them jumping. I wish I had though. That would have been cool. But yeah, we saw some goats in this park. I think there's some cool landscapes. Sorry if you guys like the goats. I'm just kind of skipping through the goats. Oh yeah, look at this road like in the middle of nowhere. This reminds me of Los Nevadas. Also, I just realized that the Discord camera is like mirrored. Like you guys literally probably have been like not able to see anything.
Wait, yeah, huh?
Wait, what?
No, it's only for your thing.
Oh, it's only mirrored for me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
nice.
it's weird.
I mean,
And
it's for
I hate
quality
seeing it
definitely
too.
lower, so I have just stream open anyway.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it might be honestly because it's OBS virtual camera. So, yeah, the road is pretty cool. This one has clouds too, kind of nice. Go back to the goats. Okay, needy chat. There, look at the goats.
Back to the goats.
It was weird because like that eye, like, is there anything back there? Huh? Is there anything? The one has a broken horn. I don't think they're broken, chat. I think they're just like. I think they like shed their horns, chat. So I don't think it's broken. I think they're just shedding. I don't know though.
Philosophical thoughts.
You think this goat's having philosophical thoughts? There is.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. The goat's cute, but there's not a thought behind those eyes. There's
That guy looks like an NPC to be honest.
grass. That's all this goat's thinking about. Yummy grass, crunchy grass. This grass is tasty. Look at that.
Probably wondering like
All
how
I
your
think
day's going.
is grass. All I know is grass.
That goat's having a good day. He's probably wondering like, I wonder if that guy's taking a photo of me having a good day.
Looking at the next grass I'm gonna eat. Look at his line of sight. Straight down at the next piece of grass they're gonna go for. Anyways, little landscape action. Oh, here's some ominous looking clouds for you, foolish. This place was crazy because it like actually got super flat, but was still like had big boulders everywhere.
Oh.
So it looked kind of crazy.
I'm kind of digging those. I like how it kind of just go as far as the eye can see.
Yeah, this was with my wide angle lens as well.
It looks like it's so close. Like they look really low.
The clouds? Yeah, well, we were pretty high up. Oh, this is an artsy picture of me. Look at me go. Boom. Picture of me in the car.
Wait, you haven't been walking this whole time? You're just in a car?
I mean, some of them we were walking for, yes.
Oh. It's like when I said hike, I kind of pictured.
No, earlier we were hiking, but anyways, we had to drive some of the places. We went all over the place. We had to have a car. This picture's pretty cool though. Here's some dark clouds for you, foolish. Some dark, angry looking clouds. They look angry.
Yeah.
Oh, this was cool because we're like in a desert, right? And then behind there is like snowy mountains. It was weird. Weird area.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
That. Yeah, it's kind of nifty. And then we went to the Hoover Dam, which was crazy. I've never seen it before. It was wild. Took this picture of the bridge at the Hoover Dam, which was crazy. Thought it turned out pretty good. Some ominous looking clouds there.
Hey Sam, hey foolish.
Oh, hey, Rod.
Wait.
That confused me for a second.
Confused. I'm like, wait a second.
You wanted to say hi? Damn.
Hello.
Damn, literally a damn.
Oh.
Oh, I wanted to try and. I wonder if I can Photoshop this out. I'll have to try. The yellow cone?
What? I think it's like part of the.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not. It's not part of the thing. Anyways,
it's real, Sam. It's real.
I thought the Hoover Dam was cool. Also, what's crazy is, so on the Hoover Dam, in the middle of it, you move from like being on Nevada time. Oh, this was behind the Hoover Dam. So this is where the water's stored at, and the other side is where it was going. But you go from being in Nevada time. Oh yeah, here's one of the other markers I told y'all about. The geological marker from the Coast Guard, the surveys. Yeah. So you go from being in Nevada time to being in Arizona time right here, like right where these little things are. So like on this side, you're in Nevada time, which is an hour different from Arizona time on the other side, which is kind of cool.
That's fucked.
What do you mean?
Does your phone like update? Like were you like trying?
Yeah. No, it was really cool. So like your phone would change as you walked across the line. Swag shoes. Oh yeah, I had on the expensive shoes that day. I don't know why either. Oh, I think we were going into Vegas on this day, so I had put on like a nicer outfit. But yeah, so it was Arizona time over there. So it was like, what time is that on the clock? Like 4. It had just become 4-ish, I think. And then on the other side, it was only 3-ish.
That's so dumb.
That's weird, right? Anyways, yeah, there's another survey. And that's it. That's all I have. Oh wait, you didn't see my bird pictures though, right?
No, I don't think so.
Hold on, let me show you.
Like,
let me show you my bird pictures, okay? My bird pictures are my pride and joy. I'm the most proud of my bird pictures. Also, there's a bunch of other pictures I didn't get to go through, but I didn't want to show chat pictures with people in them that might not have wanted to be, you know, shown off on stream. Look at this bird picture. Boom.
Oh wow, it's like pretty high depth.
Yeah.
Depth?
Yeah. That's pretty good, right?
That's pretty good.
Then I got this one. This one's pretty good too. My favorite one is the next one though. This bird was like modeling for me.
Wait, I like the color. I like how there's like actually like some like purple.
Well, you're gonna love this one then.
Oh.
Ooh.
Look at that. Isn't that crazy?
Okay.
Say that again. Say that again. This was a cactus. Everyone loves a good little cactus. I think this is the best picture that I took though of the whole trip, maybe. Anyways, cactus. Here's me. I took that with a DSLR. Should have just used my phone
hi,
though.
Sam.
Oh hey.
Hey, you're like wearing the same outfit.
I'm wearing a black hat and a windbreaker. This is a windbreaker, not a hoodie. I would like everyone to know.
They're like they both got hood turtleneck things.
Turtleneck things? Okay, fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
Was it windy?
Yeah, it was also just freezing cold and snowing.
You wouldn't really picture it. Also, what's with the sky there?
I don't know.
Like, what is happening? That looks like you're just like in outer space.
They're like, the clouds just turned out weird. I don't know.
I'm digging it.
I kind of like it though. It's kind of nice. It's kind of artsy. Anyways, these are my other birds that I found. These are little birds though, not big birds. They're little birds. And I got this bird landing on this branch. Look at that picture.
I feel like if I just like threw a ping pong ball at one of them, they just explode.
They're pretty small. They were tiny. Like it was weird how like small they were. But
like
yeah.
I kind of just want to like throw one of them.
And then that was the pine tree arch. And that was it. That was the only ones you guys missed, I think. Boom. I really looked at pictures, chat. Do you guys think I should make an Instagram post? My first Instagram post?
You have never made an Instagram post?
I never have.
Oh.
Should I?
Yeah. I think like include guys. The bird would be fine if I threw it. Like it would fly. But yeah. You have to include like one of you in it, okay? And then just like your favorite ones.
Okay. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Also, why does my camera keep going weird mode on stream? Can you focus, camera? Calm down. There it goes.
You kind of have like a green outline.
Yeah, well, it's 'cause I'm on a green screen. My camera looks bad tonight though, right?
I don't know. I mean, it's like higher quality than mine, so to me, it's like, yeah, you're doing good. Don't even worry about it. Mine's also like a webcam.
I've made a mistake. Is that better? Oh, it is better. That's way better, right? Yeah. Streamer moment.
What'd you do different?
It was on the wrong mode. It was on the wrong mode. I fixed it though. It was on bird picture taking mode. I fixed it though.
Mode.
Also, I'm now listening to Rooftop Run, but it keeps cutting in and out, so Rooftop Run, but the song doesn't play through properly.
I'm on a rooftop.
Running?
I'm on a rooftop.
So yeah, there it was.
How long of like a trip was that?
We were there for like 2 weeks, like a week and a half.
Oh.
Foolish hasn't even noticed that I was gone.
Well, I mean, honestly, I didn't.
Wow, that's that actually hurts my feelings, Foolish.
I noticed that you were gone.
I thought we were close, Foolish.
Well, like, how was I supposed to know?
Because you keep up with me and know what I'm doing and care about me.
Well, like, how would I? You didn't tell me, like, hey, I'm going.
I did,
to
actually. I
Zion.
literally did tell you I was going on a trip.
Maybe you did.
I don't know if I did or not. I'm just making you look like the bad guy.
I have no idea.
You're the bad guy here, though, somehow. It's not me.
No way.
It's got to be you.
I'm an angel. I'm a delightful angel.
You're right. You're right. You're just, you're
I'm like a
beautiful.
little sponge cake.
So you are. You're beautiful.
Oh, Sam. Oh.
Oh, what?
Oh.
I want to listen to Hero of the Wild. I don't know why.
Actually, forget about that hero. Listen to Sonic Heroes.
Is that song good?
It's pretty hype.
Is it a playlist adder?
I don't
That
know.
is
That'd
pretty
be
hip,
up to you.
actually.
It's a hype song. I don't know if, like
YouTube.
what kind of playlist you're going for.
Sonic Heroes. That's what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Like I played it during. Remember that one like Twitch Rivals thing event, like with the
Uh-huh.
the boat, the ice boat racing. Like I
Oh,
played
yeah.
it during that.
This got
and
you
I
in the
was doing
zone?
So good. Yeah. But like I said, it might just. I don't know what kind of vibe you're going for your vote playlist.
No, I'm liking this one. This one's good. This one's good. Are we going to play TFT or what?
Oh yeah.
You want to play TFT?
Yeah.
Chad, do you want to watch us play TFT? Or should I just end the stream, though? We can go play TFT and have fun. Can this camera stop with this?
Oh, you're upset.
Chad, I can't be asked to fix the camera a second time. I don't know what's wrong with it. Turn it up. It's up. There you go. We're giving you what you want. Keep it up, Chad. It's up. So loud.
It's not too loud. Shut up. If anything, it's still not loud enough.
Okay, I turned it back down, Chad.
Oh.
Be careful what you asked for, though. Turn it up louder, louder. Way too dang, streamer. We're playing TFT or what?
I'll play
Okay.
With you.
You're gonna hop on it? Nice. We're gonna have a full 3-man party. That means we can feed LP to each other. That's against the rules. I lied. We're not gonna feed. I hope I'm not on desktop capture. I hope I'm on full cam. Just typed in my password, so hopefully I was on full cam. We're good. I was on full cam. Okay, chat. Remember, I will do my best to coach you, but you have to take notes. That's the way we do when we play this game. When we play this game, I will do what I can to chat you, to teach you, but you have to take notes. That's the deal. Team fight tactics.
If we're being honest, nobody in chat here is going to learn anything.
Oh, they will. They will. They learned a lot last time.
They will
Alright,
learn a
chat,
lot
what's the
from
best
my
meta comp
skill.
right
Whoa.
now?
Now, I didn't teach them all that.
Oh.
Plus, there was a patch since I last spoke with them.
Actually, they nerfed Kaisa finally.
Thank goodness.
No more running Kaisa.
You're both in silver? You're both garbage.
I don't play this enough to rank up.
Uh-huh.
You're gold 3. That's like trash calling the dumpster garbage, please.
Also, check.
I don't
you're not
really
gonna
do
be able to
enough ranked.
see
I
anything.
don't really do enough ranked.
Yeah, I don't play. I haven't played him forever.
Wait, all I know is I'm gonna go the Yasuo build, so don't even go that build.
There is no Yasuo.
Not
No.
Yasuo, sorry,
man.
Yone.
Oh,
Are you going the
man.
Challenger build?
He's an academy play.
The Challenger or Academy build?
It's like kind of a mix. It's like Enchanter, I forget exactly what they
You
are.
know what?
I'll
You go
remember
where you
when I
need to
did
go.
them.
I'm gonna go. Who's voting with the 5?
Basically, don't go Yone and Fiora. Like, don't go Academy. Basically, is what
Fine.
I'm trying to say.
But if I want that Fiora for my 4 Enforcer, I'm taking it.
Okay, listen, if you gotta have that, but I call getting the level 2 Fiora.
Yeah, you got it.
I'll be playing.
Oh, Bad.
Heroes
Thank you for the
'cause,
raid and the host. You guys got here just in time to watch us play TFT, which none of you are gonna care about.
No.
I might decline this for just a minute.
Why?
I think I'm going to.
What?
Hold on.
What's the issue? Wait, I missed
I'll
it.
be right
What
back.
was that? Wait, what?
Hi, everyone from Bad. Thank you for the raid, Bad. You're wonderful. Hi, everyone. How was the SMP? I hope it was well. I'm excited to start playing again. We're just vibing. We were looking at pictures from my trip. If you don't follow my Instagram, I'm going to post it on Instagram later. And me, Foolish, and Ant are going to play Teamfight Tactics, which is like a fun auto chess. Like, it's great because you guys can just take notes, learn how to play from us, and like you don't have to do anything. Like, we all just sit back and relax. It's what we do during the late night chill streams at 10:30. But yeah, anyways, I hope that Bad stream was good. I'm imagining a lot of you have been watching them all day ever since Carl, right? Carl had a good fun stream today. I watched a lot of Carl's stream and then Quackity stream. But anyways, that's what we're going to do. Thank you guys so much for the raid. And we're going to play TFT. And if you don't know what's going on, that's the point. You just got to Peepo take notes. Peepo, write that down. Write that down, chat.
Games.
I'm back.
It's just like Sonic Heroes.
That song is nice, the Sonic Heroes song. I do like that. I've explained to them all that their job is to write things down in the chat and to remember things from me. We're gonna work on it together.
Hello, chat. I will be your conductor for today.
Foolish will be the conductor. I will be the streamer. And what are you gonna be?
He'll be the
Wait,
caboose.
what are the rules? Or roles?
You're the caboose.
So far, Foolish is... You're gonna be the caboose?
Yeah.
Okay, respect. Wow, Foolish, that's a cute little goodest duck bill you have there.
I'm the goodest duck.
What
I
do
just
I do
felt
as
like
the
it was
caboose?
me.
I don't
am
know what
the
you do as the
goodest duck.
caboose. I don't even know what I do as the streamer.
Oh.
You're stuck in my head.
This is us, guys. Well, chat. This is me. This is Foolish. This is
I
Ant.
am the goodest duck.
We're the bottom three. That's us. That's us. It's us. Foolish.
The only reason I have this one on is because I can dance and I'll turn on music.
Oh, that's kind of
I can
nice.
listen to the music while I'm playing.
Okay, wait.
Oh, actually, BF Sword, Twitch, get off. Sam.
Okay, fine. You can have it. You can have it. I want the
Oh my
bow
God,
anyways.
Wait, no, we're still fight over it.
I'll take the cloak.
No.
Listen,
Oh, yeah,
defense
I feel
items
bad.
are
That
OP
was-
anyways.
I feel bad.
Defense items are OP
Wait, Ant,
anyways.
did you say you're going to the Yordle build?
Bottom three. Way to write that
No.
down, chat. Way to write that
That was a
down.
joke. I would never willingly play Yordles.
I'm going.
I was
I'm going the
saying.
Jin build. That's what I'm going. I'm going the Jin comp.
Okay.
Vapor or Clockwork?
The 4 build or whatever it is. Just the Jin carry build. This typical
Hopefully I
like
can do
sniper
this
clockwork
right.
Jin. Actually, I just got a Cho'Gath off rip, so I might be going this.
Oh,
what's mutant buff is
is
him?
Cho still broken?
Mutant is Adrenaline Rush, and I just got 4 Twitches in my shop.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but I do have 2 Academy.
Fine, I'm not then. I'm going Chemtech. Fine,
Okay,
screw me.
okay.
I
hate
have
you.
4
Rotten
Twitches in my
hell.
shop still.
Never mind, I'm
What?
going Chemtech.
Can we use our notes on the test? Yes, chat. That's the beauty of it. You can use your notes on the test.
And what classes that let you like take notes and have them for the test?
Okay, chat. We're in an interesting place here.
Oh no!
Wait, I can take Chemtech Crown here. Foolish. Is your heart set on going Chemtex? Let me have it. Let me have it. You're good. You don't need it. You don't
No,
need
it's too late.
I'm-
I'll figure it out.
we're gonna-
Go whatever
we're
the
gonna-
hell you guys want.
I'm going
you
Chemtech.
bastards. You're both just moved me off both of my builds.
I'm taking Chemtech Crown.
You know what? I hope you die.
Wow. That took an extreme escalation. That hurt my feelings.
Escalate these nuts.
I will. If you ask nicely.
I'm pretty sure computer got nerfed.
No,
All right, whatever.
Vertical
I'm
got
going
buffed.
anything but what I said I was gonna
But what's his name? Urgot got nerfed for sure. But I'll just go the Urgot build still. I don't care. I don't care.
go. Alright, I'm gonna go Bruiser then. I'm going Bruiser.
You're going bruisers? Only bruisers?
Yes, I don't
That was
care.
Terrible. It's just so terrible.
That-
Do not
Okay,
do
well,
that.
we'll
That's
see
gonna
who's
be-
the last one laughing.
That's gonna be garbage. For sure that's gonna be garbage.
Oh, it will be, but I'll be laughing.
I should have pre-leveled. Because now I'm gonna level for nothing. Yes. I agree with what you said.
Yeah!
think this is best.
I got no level 2 units.
Asked nicely, chat. Way to write that down. Way to write that down. Look at you go, chat. We're playing Sip Thung Deet, and we are destroying them. We still have our Twitch in the back here. So this is the beauty of this game, chat. To play the game,
Like
you just put your units in there and then you sit still and do nothing. It's wonderful.
I feel like it's like gambling.
Okay.
Maybe that's not the best way to like.
Okay.
But like, I feel like there's like a part of I feel like you're re-rolling. You're like gonna get what I want, and then of course it's not just straight up gambling, but like.
Yeah, not exactly right.
I feel like it's kind of.
It's kind of
maybe
close, is what you're saying. That's kind of what I'm thinking, but you know, I'm just rolling with what you're saying right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a genius.
My chat is writing down gamble. They wrote that down already. So that's on you. That is entirely on you.
I'll take I'll take it. Whatever.
Foolish is taking it.
Damn, I'm so sorry. I have so many units.
Oh, I was about to slam items too.
I was gonna take the Kentex, so I got offered that, and then I was like, nah, Kentex 6 now I got nerfed.
Thank goodness I didn't slam my items here and can just transition to a little lost streak arena.
It's a good thing you bastards took both of my builds.
Are you winning?
I'm not. You're gonna play. I don't know what you're gonna play. To be honest, you said like 4 different things. Foolish.
That's what I'm saying. You claimed he was.
Oh, so
wow,
you're
you
not
got the
gonna go
fancy.
Academy?
I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I'm not gonna.
Make up your mind.
I might pivot, Foolish. You can't base it around me.
Can
You're
I
sick.
level here? And I could put in mutant as well, just because I can. Should I even do that? 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I'm doing it. Oh wait, this is toxic. Oh wait, I took out the wrong one. Oh.
This isn't Foolish.
I just hard trolled.
Why are so many Chemtech players? Everybody's playing Chemtech.
I just hard trolled. I'm
not gonna. Actually, I don't care if everybody's playing Chemtech. That means somebody's gonna get their units.
I just hard trolled right there. But I still won somehow. I don't get it.
You guys are gonna learn that Bruiser build is the best build.
Oh yeah, I'm ready to learn. I'm ready to learn.
If you saw make it to top like 3 with Bruiser, it'll be a miracle.
Be toxic like foolish to. Yes, good. Write that down, Chad. Go ahead. Write that down. You're right.
I'm not toxic.
Oh,
first of all,
Chat said it, not me. So I don't know why you're sounding aggressive with me. That's what I don't get.
Fuck chat.
Whoa.
Oh,
Whoa.
wow.
Now that right there was just.
That toxic?
That was aggressive.
Was that toxic?
That's what it was. And toxic.
Sorry. Listen.
That was aggressive.
They started it. And
Chat, did you start this? Did you start this, chat? Yes or no, did you start it, chat? That's all I want to know. Just yes or no, did you start it? If you say no, I will roast Foolish.
Oh, now they're crying.
They're capital D calling. They didn't start it. They didn't start it. You started it.
They're turning you against me.
You started it, didn't you? I forgot that Cho'Gath is like the worst mutant because he takes up 2 spots. Am I really taking out a...
Cho takes up 2 spots.
Am I really taking out a
Bruiser?
tier 2 Twitch right now? Am I doing that? I think I am.
What did Foolish? What did you shoot?
This is really awkward.
Oh, I guess Foolish. You have level up.
Yeah.
You're level 10. Oh wait, that's sort of. Why didn't I get that? That's crazy.
Oh my gosh, this guy. Thank goodness I gave up on the Chemtech. This guy's online.
You gave up on the Chemtech?
No. I'm just not running it in the mid game here. I'm gonna be running a little mutant action. I win these?
Oh, wild.
I don't win these. Sell this poppy.
Why am I offered a Mundo? I can't use this. I should go to Foolish.
Why am I getting all of my
Send it to me.
late game units?
Oh wait, we're playing double. I'll send it to you right now.
Dude, I love double.
Double is actually so fun. Actually, unironically, it's really fun. Okay, chat, hold on. I'm being a little crazy right now. Being a little bit of a funny guy, if you will. I think this is... Whoa.
Oh my god.
Whoa. Amber alert.
Holy shit, that scared me.
That was really loud. Out of nowhere.
Yeah,
Valorant's really changed Foolish. I think that's true. I think that's fair.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah, see, Foolish admits it.
Oh, yeah.
Do I beat Foolish here? Do I beat Foolish here? Oh, you're ready,
No way,
son?
look at me.
What? What? Why did you not ult the other misfortune? We win these! No! We win these! We win these! Let's go!
Nice, you have an item. You have an item.
Let's go!
You have an item.
Yeah,
Nice.
Mad cause bad.
Way to
Mad
cheat.
cause bad. Mad cause bad. Mad cause bad. Mad cause
Nice.
bad.
Mad
Don't care.
because you stole my
Guess what?
build.
Guess what? Don't care. Don't care, didn't ask. Oh, I meant to buy those trundles. I threw.
You're a rat.
Well, you know what they say.
This is gonna tickle.
About what?
You know.
Okay.
Oh, I actually got one of the trundles. Nice, champ. And then I can slam this on him to get my 3 Kimtech back. Nice. Kind of worked out. And I'm at 20 gold. Not bad.
Wow, what a happy story.
So, Chad, in this game, as you have gold, you make interest on your gold. So having more gold is good, up to 50. Give me a giant spell here, Riot.
I hope they give me a spatula.
Oh, guess what they gave me? Guess what they gave me? Guess what they gave me? Guess what they gave me?
Don't tell me they gave you a spatula.
No, I don't need a spatula.
Oh. I just said that though, so I thought you were about to like rub it in my face that you got a spatula.
No, I would never do that to you. I'm not like that, Foolish. I'm a good guy. I'm the good guy. A person who would do that to you is, in fact, the bad guy. Okay, I think I just slammed this Morello because I'm making this Morello 100%. Oh, they nerfed Morello though, right?
Yeah.
Oh well.
I think it's. I don't know if it's good or not.
Your mom.
What did you say to me, Foolish?
What?
What did you say to me?
What? I said nothing.
I know you didn't mean that. I want you to take it back. I want you to take it back. Take it back. Take it back right now.
I didn't say nothing. I didn't.
You said that you nerfed my mom.
No.
Also, it's apparently it's Chat and I's mom. I just destroyed this guy. Wow, I was like a 5-unit defeat right there. That guy just got destroyed. Chat is writing that down, Foolish. They're writing that down. They're saying how dare he threaten our mom. They're saying how dare he threaten our mom.
That shouldn't even be part of the notes. I feel like.
What do you mean? They're literally writing it down.
What exactly? I thought they were supposed to be writing down the notes of the game. They're just
they're doing that as well. But now they're just taking a note of that. You know, he even admits it, Chat. That's what I'm saying, Chat. He admits it.
That's not true. That's not true. You're using deductive falsalities.
Chat's really upset at you right now, Foolish. I wouldn't push them. They're really disappointed in you, honestly, is what they said. That's what they said, not me. That's what they said, is what I'm saying.
Well,
oh no, I just forgot about the idea that this Blitzcrank could destroy me. Blitzcrank is so OP. Blitzcrank is so broken.
Blitzcrank is wild.
That is.
Yeah, Blitzcrank is.
He doesn't deserve the knockup too. He doesn't deserve.
That's where I'm coming from. That's where I'm coming from. Chaos Kate, thank you so much for the gifted subs, by the way. 10 tier ones. Also, I hope you guys are okay with me reading my things out loud because I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, man. You know, I'm a little jealous, but yeah, it's whatever.
I could go Chemical Overlord. Dealing 20% of their max health as magic damage and energy. Yeah, I'm going that. That's gotta be broken. I feel like I should just put in like all the Kimtechs now. Like anything that's not a Kimtech just comes out of my comp. I could go 3. I could go 5 Kimtech right now.
Real quick.
I would lose sniper bonus though.
Do you think a level 1 Mundo or level 2 Zac is better?
Level
2 Zac.
Whatever floats your boat.
Feel like a level 2 Zac. I would think.
I'm doing something a little risky here. I'm doing something really risky here, as a matter of fact.
I'm feeling pretty good.
This is useless on all my units, though, chat.
I haven't got feathers you yet.
Nice blitzcrank pull. I'll make a lol.
Oh, wait,
Well.
I didn't pull Caitlyn. What the hell? You have
Because
Singe in the
I
corner.
put Singe in the corner on purpose, yeah. To avoid this exact situation, the exact situation where you pulled my Caitlyn.
I'm not lost your gut on mine. I will keep up the gold.
Kimtech Overload is actually OP, though.
See, right now I'm in a pretty good spot, but I've been kind of spending my money.
You're kind of poor, is what you're saying. I
might regret
really
it.
need me a glove or a BF sword. There's no BF swords. I need that glove. Gonna need to take that glove. No one take that glove. Oh, and
I needed it more. I'm
you
sorry.
needed it more? No, you don't even know why.
I need it for Yone.
What did I? You're building Yone? Foolish specifically has to
I'm
know.
playing
Give me the expensive one.
And forget it,
L.
I'm not going Yone.
L.
It's over.
L.
Foolish is
L.
building
Campfire dance.
Bruiser.
And you're gonna be so silly when I.
He is in
just
first. I'm gonna give him some street cred. He is in first.
Yeah, he's gonna. Do you know how hard he's gonna fall off?
Oh,
No
extremely
way,
hard.
dude.
I will agree with you. He will fall off
No
extremely
way.
hard.
See, you guys don't understand though, because I don't need as much gold. Because look at my bonus.
Right.
I gained 3, so I can live Moss right now.
You do it. You live Moss. That was not what I meant to do. Why did I put this on my Zach that I'm going to be keeping? That was so troll. Oh, I actually trolled, chat. I trolled that.
TFT is like actually kind of like my offline addiction.
Same. I play this game a lot. That's why I started playing with chat. Cause I was like, you know what? If I'm going to play this much, I may as well play with chat. Look at us go, chat. 5-game win streak? That's huge. We get an extra 3 gold every round. We need to win this next round big time. Need this
I
win.
hope I crush you like the little bug you are.
We are going to... Do I need Seraphine? I don't think so. I think Janna is my forecast that I need that I don't currently have. I do need this later, though. We can buy this as well. We'll roll one more time here. Yeah, we'll take it. Why not? Okay. We could put this in for Enforcer. No, our com's really strong. We sit. We sit patiently, chat. Be patient, chat. Gotta be patient.
Another Chemtech player. How original.
Oh, I love how Sin is just walking in there so that he can blow up and do a lot of damage to everyone. Yes. This mechanical bear is eating my damage, though.
Wait, what was that gangplank thing? You like came back to life.
Gangplank thing.
Guardian Angel.
Or no, it was different. He's like ghosty, watery.
I don't know. Who are you playing?
Oh wait, maybe I'm an idiot. Maybe that was just my
I have no idea.
I don't
Alawi.
know.
Maybe it's just my Alawi.
I don't know. I can't believe I lost that, though. That was really bad. This needs to go here. It can go onto her eventually. We need to push level 7. We'll level up next round. Save up some gold here.
Oh, I forgot it was this round. It's
I like these.
These are my favorite rounds too. I get to see the goodies that Riot gives me.
there's so many items.
Riot blessed me with these items. They absolutely blessed me with these items. Oh my goodness, they blessed me crazy.
Wait,
actually, they actually.
Can I make a bruiser with the spatula?
I don't know. I don't think so. Right click a spatula and you can see.
Oh, what?
Yeah, you can't, right?
Oh, I can't make a bruiser?
I'm guessing not, because you sound extremely disappointed.
Me. Why not?
Oh, we needed to put this in, chat. Oops. Oh, well, too late now.
Oh, there is another Academy player. Who is this? You.
This guy's Twitch got locked down by Enforcer. He died. I win. We won,
I don't know
chat.
whose build this is, but
Puns?
it looks mighty.
What is chat saying puns for?
Puns.
What?
What?
This is puns? What? Foolish and puns are the same.
No way I'm being called puns right now. Is that what's
I
happening?
am so confused as well. I don't even know what's happening.
I'm not happy. I'm not happy about it.
Puns is free to join whenever he wants, chat, but he is not currently here.
He's not free.
How is your VC command? It says you're in VC with puns.
Oh, the VC command? Oh. At the mods? Question mark? I didn't even make that
also
command.
just
That's the
quickly
mods.
blame the mods.
Yeah, you know. Little mod blame goes a long way.
That's fair, honestly.
It's me, Ant, and Foolish right now, chat. Look at this. Look at this perfect singed bait.
Who am I playing against?
Boom. Oh my gosh, this person's Fiora is entirely online. Oh, Mechanical Bear just destroyed me last round. No joke.
Oh, I got owned by that build too.
The Innovators got buffed this patch too, so.
That's a Jace. How?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, someone's a little mad.
I'm a little mad that I didn't
Someone's a
really
little upset.
I'm gonna need to find me an Urgot.
I have a bunch of bruisers. Do you think it matters like the order in which I place them?
What do you mean?
Like, you know what I mean?
You
I have a
should
bunch
pick
of
up your
bruisers.
items. Oh my god, look at how many items, foolish ass. He hasn't
I don't know
used
what I'm
any of
doing
these
yet.
items.
I don't know what I'm doing yet.
What? No wonder I can't find another Zac. You have 5 Zacs sitting on your bench.
Hey,
Ant has so many items as well. What? Oh my gosh, you moved your Blitzcrank? That is toxic.
I don't think I touched Blitzcrank.
I don't know. He pulled the opposite side now, though. Misfortune with the GA revive, though. She's gonna boom, 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 boom. Bing. Bing.
Yeah, I need to play some items. I'm starting to get rolled.
Same. Not. Just rolled Ant. 4 units
I know,
left.
I'm not getting any of my carry units. I just lose, so I'm getting unlucky here. Oh my
I want that
god,
Jinx
I see
so
what I
bad.
need.
The
I've been
Yone.
blessed. I've been blessed.
Oh my
Give me
gosh.
the
Give me that
skills.
Jinx. Give me that Jinx all day. I want that. I'm last pick. I'm not getting that Jinx. I'm not getting anything I want here.
Oh, I was gonna also swipe the Jinx from you.
Not like this. Foolish, what do you want? That's what I wanted.
Yeah.
I'll take this.
What do you get for taking my Chemtech?
Whatever. Don't care. Didn't ask. Don't care. Boom, roasted.
You will regret everything.
I could put in 7 Chemtech right now.
Bet you won't.
I won't, but I could. I just wanted everyone to know.
Bet you won't.
Actually, I think 7 Chemtech's just bad, to be honest with you.
I knew it.
I can roll a little bit here. Oh, there's the Zac I needed. Thank goodness. Finally found it.
He's a coward. Oh my goodness, my build's terrible.
Oh god, foolish. I need a fucking item just to counter you or something.
Giant little Giant Slayer action.
Yeah, I'm actually just gonna need a Giant Slayer to beat foolish.
Bruisers are terrible.
You don't scale.
Bruisers are terrible.
Scale.
Bruisers are terrible.
You're not going to scale, though. I mean, if we get to late game, you just
No, listen,
simply
listen, no,
lose.
I'm not counting on just the bruisers, though. I'm not counting on just the bruisers.
He's counting on his carry that he's going to bring in.
Get out of here, trash.
I'm on a 4-game win streak again.
you are.
Feeling good. And it's the one item.
Can I get any better runes? Holy shit.
I can get 45
This is
gold.
Portable Forge. I've never seen this before ever.
I'm getting terrible runes. Like these
I
past
can
two
get
just been garbage.
Chemical Overload 3 on top of my Chemical Overload 1. Or I can get Windfall. Gain gold based on the number of augments you have now. For 2, you get 40. I can get 45 gold influx here. What? Should I do that or Chemical Overload? Chemical Overload's probably safer, but this would definitely let me get my comp online. Chemical Overload, whatever. We're playing the safe route. The route we know works, chat. Ooh, that's huge. Actually huge. Actually huge. I think I put this in. I think we do this. Is that not 7 Chemtech? Oh, yeah, it is. I just need to do this.
Oh, another Bruiser player, but they're like better set up than Foolish because they have Chemtech too.
Oh, you're mad. You're mad. I see.
I beat you last time. I'm not mad.
Not even close.
We are online, chap. We are online.
Oh god, the Victor's going crazy. Oh god, the
Listen,
Victor's
Sam,
going
you'll beat me now, but
Bro,
you'll be worried
foolish.
when I come back. I'll come back with a
Foolish.
vengeance, you bitch. Don't you even worry. I have a plan, and you guys are gonna be
Foolish,
blindsided when
what?
it happens. You guys are gonna be absolutely blindsided.
Foolish just got 6 united. Oh, Megalolt. Oh, was that a Janna chat in my shop? That was a Seraphine, right? Tell me it was, chat. We're committing to the level. 24 more. Write that down. You're mad. True. Foolish is still toxic. Write that down. Write that down.
It's not toxic
Good work,
or
chat.
mad.
Write that down.
I'm
Write that
just trying
down.
to let you know, like, you're gonna rue the day.
Write that down. Write that down. This is our carry, chat. This guy right here. This is our carry. He does all our damage. That's what he means to be a carry. You got to do all the damage. Carry the team. That's what I usually do in MCC. Whoever I get teamed with. So you guys should know what I'm talking about. Right, chat? Right, chat? Back me up here, chat. Back me up here, chat. I could go ZZ
Screw me.
Gargoyle.
It's over. I used so much gold just trying to reroll one thing, and it's just GG. GG. Screw Riot.
I think I want to put these on Mundo because he's OP as opposed to Zach. You know, this isn't exactly what the comp is supposed to be, but I can just transition late game and keep in 7 Kimtech for now. I think I might just win with 7 Kimtech, to be honest with you. Oh my gosh, my Urgot died, though. This guy's Lux is scary, but... Blame game, not skills. You're right, chat. Looking for our level ups now, chat. Oh, we just found a Yumi. That would be... Would that be crazy to add that to this call? Or... We are online, chat. We're going 9. We're going level 9. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun. Okay, we need to find a Tom Kinch, chat. That's what we're missing here. There's a Tom Kinch.
Oh, interesting.
You have one? You do have one. Where's your Alawi at for 8 Bruiser?
I can't go 8 Bruiser.
Ooh, this guy's Akali is online.
I didn't get the one thing I needed.
And terrifying.
I'm just getting rolled.
You already had a Jinx and a Yumi. It's over for this person.
I'm on a 7-game win streak right now.
I can't get any golds. Holy. So bad.
Honestly, chat, do we even want to go 9? I guess we want to add Janna. Because Janna would give us scrap. No, I mean scholar is what I meant, not scrap. Would give us scholar. Which is good. Yeah, I think we do. Oh, this guy has mechanical dragon? Oh no.
Oh.
I also need to find my Urgot. Like, what? What did the dragon just do? This dragon has infinite health. And he has a Jace? Wait.
Awesome.
My Urgot was just... I mean, my Urgot was just shooting in GA, though. I did not know that was a thing. I just lost a 7-game win streak to that. Jinx is big. Jinx is big for me. Trap Claw's useless, but the Jinx is... The Jinx is...
An assassin player.
It's pretty frustrating. I'll take that Dragon Claw, though. I'm gonna take this Shroud, honestly. I can't win here. I don't know. That is so unlucky. Who's a better Kimtech I can throw into this comp? I guess Victor for Warwick would be good. This is gonna go on Zach for now. We could level. 44 gold away. We wait, chat. We have a lot of health. We have most health in the lobby. We wait. Sam can't one-cycle the dragon? This is literally not Minecraft. This guy has a tier 3 Fiora.
That was actually such a good joke, though.
With a Rageblade Jeweled Gauntlet. What? This guy's Fiora one-shots my whole team, right?
Yeah.
She just one-shot my Mundo. Luckily, I beat her, though. I don't know how. Somehow my Vi did the most damage on my team. Not really sure.
My level 2 Kaisa just sucked.
Oh, Kai'Sa's got hard nerf this patch.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. Wow, I really counted on her to.
Yeah, no, that unit's garbage now.
Oh, really? Ooh. Oh man. Okay. Well, GG to me. Whoops. Someone should have told me that.
You got the giant slayer Runon Zap going. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go.
I think it's gonna go to the innovator player.
I think so too.
They got a Jace, Socialite.
They're online to say the least.
Rap, Max Innovator. They have Max, not Max.
Well, whatever. I got screwed. I thought Kai'Sa was still good, so I was like, oh, I'll just get ulti Kai'Sa and to be, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't realize she's garbage.
Yes, she got hard nerfed.
Okay. Well.
Yes, Mundo. I need to level up this Urgot though. Oh my gosh, your Kai'Sa is destroying my team though. It's actually the Jinx. Oh, never mind. Come on, Urgot, you win these. No, yes. The interaction happened again. This Mundo you have is unkillable though.
Okay, I don't know. Some other people have
I just gotta go 9. I just gotta go 9. I just gotta go 9. Just gotta go 9. We go after this round, we go 9, chat. We got another gargoyle. I mean, not what we wanted, but we'll take it, I guess. We really need a Jinx. And a Tom. That'd be good. Tom goes in for this. Jinx goes in for 9. I guess we exchange Warwick for what's his name whenever we finally find him.
Hey! Top 4, baby!
Oh, we're our guaranteed LP. Oh, Ant lost? What? When did Ant lose?
I got trolled by the dragon player.
What happened, dog?
Academy is apparently not the play when you can just go innovator and get a giant fucking dragon.
We just go bruisers.
Oh my gosh, I could have a tier 2 Galio right now. But I don't want it. Can I find the units that I want, please? Riot, not like this. Come on, give me one thing that I want. Okay, I'll take this for Enforcer for free, I guess, but well, there's an Urgot in my shop. What actually just happened?
Feel that foolish. This is the raid boss.
Woo!
Oh my gosh, I just got destroyed. We need our units, chat. Wiggle for our units. We're winning right now, though. We beat this guy, I think. I hope. Oh, we might not. We lose. We lose to this guy.
GG. GG, baby.
Foolish. Eliminate these guys for me. Eliminate this other guy for me.
I'll do my best.
Okay. Oh, I found my Jinx.
I'm on it. Don't even worry about it.
Oh my gosh. Another Jinx. I don't really need it though. I need that more. I think I sell this Jinx for that. Ugh. We can't find our units, chat. It's unlucky, to say the least. Oh, I got clone though. Oh, I got the mechanical dragon clone though. Can you beat that guy, Foolish?
I'll see.
This guy has 7 innovator. Neither of us beat him. There's just no way.
I may have a chance.
Every time the dragon uses its ability, I just lose. My Jinx just hard entered in the back. Yeah, I'm gonna take like 30 damage here. Oh, it's just me and this guy? Guaranteed second. We'll take it, but I am literally eliminated next round if I play when I play him. I don't want to end my 7 chem tech.
Survive carousel copium, you can win.
Oh well.
I could have had my
noticed,
Jinx. I've seen so many
anyone
Jinx.
went Yordle build that time.
Yordle's garbage in my opinion. He thinks he can move fast enough. He can't. Did I get his units with my shroud? Maybe I win with the shroud. Oh, I didn't get the Heimerdinger though. Unlucky. Oh wait, Urgot's kind of doing work though. He's not focusing the dragon this time. I still lose. This comp is way overtuned now. What? Okay, I got Carousel though. Could take Victor, kind of useless though. I don't even know what's good here. Maybe another Morello. Maybe Jeweled Gauntlet for my Jinx. Yeah, I'll take that. Oh my. Right, you gotta give me... Okay, I got the Victor though, so... He's an assassin Victor though? Oh my... What a waste.
That's so cool.
Yeah, hell yeah. Victor's about to be in.
Oh, I can't find it. I can't find any of my units either. Oh, this game's chalked. This game's chalked.
I mean, the better player won.
You're right.
Nothing you can do. But...
Oh, I think I maybe should have gone to the left. Oh, ooh! I had a huge shroud. Maybe it wins it. Victor's in the back line.
Victor's going crazy.
Zillion's not able to play. He's not able to play. What's crazy is I still haven't seen a Tom Kench. Yeah, this guy can't lose. That comp is. That game's that comp was extremely strong. Some would say broken. I got 40 LP though. Right. We'll take it. Yikers on that one. That guy cannot lose, chat. Write that down. Write that down real quick. Write that down, chat. He can't lose. That guy can't lose. Also, the camera looks so much better now. I don't know what changed between now and earlier, but it looks so much better now. Y'all are doing a great job taking notes, chat. What comp did the dragon come from? It's called Innovators. It's mad broken.
I was never a fan of the Innovators.
That comp's so broken, right? Well, they buffed it, so it's like mad broken now. I'm going that this game. I want to try it. Well, it wasn't being played.
Classic.
So.
Classic.
I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it this game.
Can't beat him.
What is the patch notes for TFT? I haven't seen the patch notes yet.
A lot of stuff got changed. Sam looks awesome handsome as usual. Thank you, chat. It's nothing really. I wake up in the morning, choose excellence. That's all there is to it, really. Just gotta wake up, decide you're gonna be excellent, and then do it. Don't you agree, Foolish?
I don't know. That's how I feel, and then I play Valorant and be like, man, I fucking suck.
Yeah. That's because you didn't choose excellence at Valorant. You just chose excellence in general.
Yeah.
I'm now the top right. Foolish. Oh, never mind, chat. Didn't have time to show you.
I'm the goodest duck. That's all you need to know.
I want these tiers. I want one of these tiers. Ant, take one. I'll take the other.
Okay.
Dub. Good trade.
Screw me. I got nothing I wanted. Oh,
dab on him.
Kill me.
Clean. Okay. Need general excellence. That's a good note right there. Good work, Poke Milena. Good work with that note. That's a good note. Delta said, how do you spell excellence? And spelled it like egg, double S-E, double L-ins. I like that.
I just hated the sound of that word.
You know, I don't think you needed to say you hated it, though. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think you needed to say you hated it.
Well, I don't think my Ziggs also need to almost lose round one, but he almost did anyway. Wait, so what exact build did you go last time, Ant?
I was going Academy, but I just didn't get any units fast enough that I wanted.
I may try it again. I'll try what you could not.
Wait, I need to buy this Ezreal. I'm trolling. For my innovators. True explorers follow the compass in their heart. Ooh, I can go Pandora's items. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Wow.
Pandora's vault.
I could take a free, and I gain a random item component. I mean, how much better does it get than that? Do I want to slam that? No, I'll hold all my items until I can make perfect items for my comp.
All of my item. Oh boy, I'm not happy with my setup so far. Not happy with what they're giving me.
I don't know what to take here.
Now we begin.
Why is this round so long? I was about to say.
I don't know. Yeah, that was like the longest round ever.
I guess
for
because
me.
it's the 1 round. Also, chat, so if you don't know, there's augments. So every game these change and you can choose different ones. The one we got this time is every round our items are going to turn into a random different item. So we can basically hold our items until we find the perfect items we want. Like right now we have 3 cloaks in a tier, which is actually not bad for our comp, but we don't want that right now. Those are like secondary items we're going to want. I can econ. I'm going to, because I didn't find any of the innovators, so I think we'll do this and we'll just econ.
Alright, I'm gonna try to go Challenger Academy. So let's not let you guys be the downfall of that this time.
I'm gonna lose. I could make a Dragon's Claw, chat. We could just slam it, because Jace is gonna get my items late game.
Oh god, foolish! What is this?
We maybe don't lose quite as
wait,
bad.
who are you?
I lied. We did lose bad.
I'm not even against you.
Yeah, you're against me.
Augments change every round, every game.
Oh no, this isn't you. What the hell? It showed you on my screen for a second though.
Oh.
Maybe you're here
No.
for
If you click on someone's thing, you can go to their map. Like I'm on your map
Oh
right
yeah,
now.
I guess. Well, I just assumed because the round was starting and Foolish was here that it was Foolish.
I was just scouting out the competition real quick.
I'm destroying this Malzahar for you. I'm distracting him. I tried.
That is my Malzahar.
Oh. I was giving your Malzahar encouragement to win.
I didn't actually think I was gonna win that one, to be honest. Oh man, it's GG. I didn't want to tell you guys right off bat, but Mutant is OP buff this game.
It's
You're going Mutant?
Oh, it's
the execute one.
It's the execute one. That one's pretty good.
Oh, nice. You got an early Cho and Malzahar. That's bullshit.
That's
I
fair.
did actually. I spawned with Malzahar.
That's fair.
That's actually not fair.
That's actually
not
just
fair.
not fair. I agree with you, Foolish. Let's be enraged about this together. I'm enraged.
That's it. I'm just gonna go Mutant. I'm throwing your build.
You're literally trolling.
I'm holding
if you
these
go Mutant.
Cassidins all game.
I have a level 2 Cassidin right now.
I'm holding these Cassidins all game.
Whatever, all I need
Made
is
the
a-
better Cassidin
People
win.
jorts.
Made the better Cassidin win.
1-800, are you jorting?
Oh,
I
you
mean, like,
jorts.
forecasted
Oh
you
my
can't do
goodness.
anything.
Peepo jorts, baby.
Are you a fan of the jorts? It sounds like you're a fan.
Wait, you can't be mad, Foolish.
How
You
can
had
you
him
not like the
mutant and you
jorts?
didn't
The
even
jorts
know.
are cute.
To be fair, I actually didn't know you were going Mutant before I had this. I just went it because I happen to have protectors.
Yeah.
Ooh, I got
So
my
eventually it will
innovator
get sold,
drop.
but not right now.
Sell it now, Foolish. I need this.
I listen. That thing probably kept me afloat from losing. Looks like you're coming in with a mean build.
Just to counter any cringe Blitzcrank players, which is there's 2 of you.
I mean, listen. Like sometimes you need a little.
I'm gonna put Cassidin behind my Malzahar just in case.
Good boy.
If I win this, I'll sell my bench, chat. To meet
Oh
you.
my god, this person has 3 level 2 units. I lose.
We're playing Foolish, though. We probably lose.
Oh, sure, I've got a stack off.
Oh, Darius heals OP, though? Not when there's 5 people on him, though.
To be fair, I also got level 5.
So we didn't win, so we don't sell because we're not going to make econ. But we're throwing for carousel pick, chat. Carousel pick goes crazy. We play for unit off a carousel for
I
sure.
never throw. I play for the win.
We'll play for any Heimerdingers are huge. Even though it doesn't give us anything right now, would be kind of big to get it early. Seraphines are good. Item doesn't really matter because we have Pandora's, so we just play for
Sam
gold. then.
lost and Foolish is better. Yeah, write that down.
I want,
Write that
I want
down.
that Tarek.
Oh, I know what I want, but I'll be shocked if I get it.
What do you want?
It doesn't matter anymore.
It's gone.
Oh, that's not what I wanted. Well, actually, no, this is what I want. This is okay. This is good.
Oh, it's hopeless. Oh my goodness.
Foolish is not better than me, chat. Stop writing that down. You're literally my chat. You're supposed to be on my side. What is this? Why are you
I am
on
very
his side?
persuasive.
Chat, don't listen to him. give this here for now. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gold on our bench. That is useless to us, essentially.
Another innovator player. Oh, it's Sam.
It's me. It's me.
We'll give you a pass because
I lost to it
you're
last
gonna
game.
play this. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. No respect.
And I'm forcing it. Like, it's not like it's getting gifted to me. I'm forcing it. I'm hard losing. I'm on a 4-game loss.
Well, you're farming money. That's what you're doing.
I guess. I guess one could say that. They're writing down to ignore the truth. Foolish persuasive. Pick a side, chat. Honestly, either foolish is persuasive or you're ignoring the truth. Ant is the best, but humble. Not bad. Good write down.
Scratch that.
What the hell? Okay, Mr. Bruiser player.
Ooh, you're just jealous of my bruisering abilities.
Oh my god, there's another Bruiser player.
My microphone
Bullshit,
cover
more
is
of you.
like got stuff on it. It's weird.
They learned. They learned.
No, no! This guy better beat me. This guy better beat me.
Wait, you trying to go for a lose streak?
I'm on a 4-game loss already. If this guy ruins my lose streak, I'm okay. It was close, to be honest with you. He almost lost to me. It was closer than it ended up looking as well. It doesn't look that close, but it was way closer than that. It is not looking pretty here, chat. I'm gonna be honest with you. It is not looking pretty.
I'm also kind of like, eh.
I just don't have any units. I'm gonna level. I think I need to. If I get 3 gold, I'm really mad because I could have econed. Honestly, it doesn't matter if I econ or not. I got 3 goals. Oh my gosh, does Zillion Ezreal beat this? I might lose this. Oh, I won. I was going to be really mad if I
The
lost.
rocks are always the most dangerous one. They're wild. Those little rocks are crazy.
I think I'm going to do this. Could pop this glove off so it can start randomizing for me. Matter of fact, I think I will. Just need to slam that dragon claw back on. Could have put it
like
on Blitzcrank.
graze and stuff like all the time.
Aha! Blitzcrank player get countered.
I thought you were talking to me at first. I was like, didn't we just play each other?
No. There's like there's 3 Blitzcrank players right now, I'm pretty sure.
Lost streak means more points. Yeah, so if you lose multiple, or if you lose 5 or more in a row, you get 3 extra gold every round, chat. So we're farming up that gold right now. We need it. If we're going to try and come back online, because we are definitely bottom of the lobby right now. For reference, Foolish has 100 health, we have 50.
Yes, sir!
Oh my
Yeah, that's
gosh.
pretty rough for you right now, huh, Sam?
Well, here, I am getting destroyed right now. I have to roll. I need to find some level ups. This is so troll, though. I think I need to go 6 as well. Putting in a second Blitzcrank. Oh, Megalo? What I need is some Heimerdingers. Ooh, I should have slammed this Warmugs.
Another Blitzcrank player.
Listen, it's nothing personal. It's just, I just need it for like early right now. They're just so good.
Oh, yes, my Tarek is now invincible. He refuses to die. Oh no, he's dying. He's dying. They have a Rage Blade on that, Israel. Yikers.
Well, how much money do you have right now?
Oh, wait.
Not too much.
I said, no way you're level 6 and rich.
It's funny too. Like right now, I've been playing a lot more like gold spending. I typically like throw and like am climbing for health.
Got horrible augments.
This is terrible. Yeah. So did everyone get terrible ones?
I got horrible ones. I got a horrid augment. Like, I'm very upset about the augment that I got.
All of them are like, bleh.
The one I just got was terrible. Actually terrible. Foolish normally throws. You wrote that down. Good write down. Good write down. Good write down. Good job, chat.
Yeah. Fair.
Chat wrote that down. I'm proud of them.
Yeah, nice work.
Foolish, do you still want to play the one Minecraft edition with me? The Hellcraft thing?
Yeah, so, I know.
You want to play it?
Hey, what is it?
It's like Minecraft, but like ultra hardcore. Like extremely difficult. Apparently.
The most hardcore.
Yeah, like apparently there's like mobs that can like hear you and then dig to you. Like the zombies can dig to you in this version.
I'd play that.
I think it'd be fun.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that guy Zillion just got a crazy ulti off. Or no, that was my Zillion actually. Go Zillion, go. Talon got a crazy buff this patch as well.
Really? That's funny.
Talon
I kind of rocking a level 2 Talon.
Yeah,
right now.
yeah, that Talon's going crazy as well. That's what I'm saying. He got buffed.
Oh, I see the correspondence now.
Ooh. Oh, I lost. Unlucky. It's really unlucky I beat that one guy because it ruined my loss streak. So, and yet I'm still at the bottom of the leaderboard. That's what's crazy. Any Seraphines in the chat? Of course not.
Any bing bong.
Bing bong.
See, I typically don't like winning. I don't like being in first place at this point in time.
I need the
No,
gold. I needed the
Sam.
gold. I'm sorry. I need the gold desperately.
Needed the gold?
I have Pandora's items. The item literally means nothing to me. I need the gold. You should have said something. I didn't know it was you.
Fuck.
Bing bong.